What's up, everybody? Hello. We are back. Finally, it's been a good 2 months. Yeah, 2 months of vacation. I take the blame. We took some time off. Much needed to spend some time for the summer.
Yeah,
But
well,
I'm
yeah,
glad to be
pretty
back.
much 2 months because it's just the end of the month. But yeah,
You
you're
know,
right. Yeah.
but I am glad to be back, Chris. Good to see you. How are things going? Everything going
Mm,
good on your side?
mm.
Mm,
It's
mm-hmm.
going. Let's put it that way.
It's
It's going.
going.
I'm alive. Uh, God bless me with another day, so that's a successful day.
Hey, you woke up and you had another opportunity. It's a beautiful day.
Yes, sir.
So, everybody, thank you again for those of you that are back with us. This is Que Padre, a podcast about Latino fatherhood in general, relationships, mental health, and everything in between. I am your host, Froilan, and you got my partner here, Chris. We're ready to kick it off. Today, however, is not just us two. We actually got a guest, one of our longtime supporters and followers, and a good friend of mine. Robert is going to join us. Let me pop him in here and unlock the door. Ding dong. What's up, Robert? How you doing?
What's up, fellas? What's up, fellas? Thank you guys
What's
for
up? What's
having me.
up?
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no.
But
Hey, thanks for
Robert,
jumping on.
Robert, what, bro? Introduce him correctly.
I was gonna let him do it. I was gonna give him
Uh,
an opportunity to introduce
it's
himself.
not. It's not his first day of school, bro.
No,
Okay.
that's the way it works. But my boy Robert, as you can see, he's rocking one of our shirts. He's purchased a handful of
Hey,
them.
you know what? I haven't seen anybody wear that shirt. Okay, not even Froy. So I thank
Man,
you for. Yeah, you're wearing it now. But I thank you for that.
I
That's
stopped wearing it because
yours
it didn't
your
fit.
that's yours truly's design, by the way.
I've been rocking this shirt for a while now, so I got
Yeah,
a
That's
he's
couple.
good, man. I'm
I've gotten a
happy. I'm
couple
happy that
compliments
you
on
wear it.
it, so it's pretty legit. I like it.
I'm
hell yeah.
happy that you wear it, man. I'm really happy you wear it.
We're in
Thank
the
you.
process of trying to revamp that whole clothing line thing. So I might bring you in as a what do we call it, a consultant. Just
A
give us some
model.
ideas and stuff. A
Maybe some
model.
models
Fuck
too.
yeah, bro. I
That's
think
hermoso.
you've been working out, so I know you're ready to rock some poppy shirts. But with that, let Rob introduce yourself. I know we've been talking, but Rob, tell us a little bit about yourself, how we know each other, and how we are part of the brotherhood of fatherhood.
Yeah, man. So, well, my name is Robert Pineda, Roberto Pineda, or Roberto Pineda, however you guys want to call it. Um, Man, I've known you for what since and AT&T days back in 2000. I don't know, it's got to be 13 or 14 or something like that. So, a little bit about 10 years now. So,
Damn, that's crazy.
obviously when we met, we were single, no kids. Now, it's changed.
It's crazy to see the arc, right, of how
Yeah,
we used to be and how we are now.
yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, hell yeah. Hey, what's that in the background?
Man, you know what? This little guy right here, this one happens to be the little fantasy championship belt that I got. And hey, Freud, do you know who I won last year for that belt?
Who did you beat? Who'd you beat last year for that?
No, you don't remember? No,
No, I remember. I remember.
yeah, no, it's like a,
So I had it a year, and then I lost, and then he won it, and I ended up getting last place. So that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and that's the way it got to look good. It has to happen sometimes. But anyway, thank you, Rob, for a quick little introduction. He is a father of two beautiful and amazing little girls. Great family. I know his family, and it's awesome to see the stuff that he does and the involvement and the modern papa that he is, and the way he's doing his thing. So I thought it'd be a good idea to have you on here, and we were supposed to have somebody else, but they have other more important things to be doing at this time. Um, uh, I want to bring you on because I see the involvement that you do, and I think this would be a good topic, more specifically because you and I have kids that are very similar in age.
yeah,
Um, and so we can have a back and forth on maybe agree or don't agree. Um, but at the same time, we get a little bit of the insight from Chris, whose kids are a little older, and maybe he did or didn't do what we were going to talk about.
yeah.
So the topic for today and again, this is just a starting point, is essentially don't buy your kids things. So somebody on another podcast somewhere, and this is the way the internet works, right? You see something somebody else is talking about, and it sparks the idea in your head. So somebody on another podcast said something about stop buying your kids stuff, specifically toys. But I'm saying, I'm generalizing more. Stop buying your kids things. Make them earn it. So if they want toys, if they want something, instead of being the provider that we are and buying it for them and saying, here mijo, here mija, let's say, okay, if you want that, that's great. We're gonna make you earn it. So every time you do the dishes, every time you pick up your room, every time you blah, here's $2, here's $5.
Yeah.
And then when and if they get enough money, if they decide they want to do it, then you take them. And I would assume, and we'll get into it, either we help them finish paying for it, or they end up making bank off of us and they buy it themselves.
Yeah.
So my thoughts and my question, and I'll throw it over to you, Rob, to get us started, is what do you think about that? Do you already practice that, or what do you think?
No, so that actually, it's funny you bring that up, right? Like a couple, I don't know, it's probably been a couple months since the wife and I actually had a kind of a little conversation about that, right? Like just having them, kind of do little chores around the house, and not chores necessarily really to help out with other stuff outside of their realm, right? But more than anything, just to clean up after themselves, right? To make sure that they pick up stuff that it's their responsibility, right? Their room,
Yeah.
toys, beds, their clothes after they shower, things like that, right? And we talked about that, right? But we've kind of haven't really engaged into the full aspect of kind of executing it, right? And I guess it's a little, maybe not hard. Maybe we haven't really taught it enough, but to show what the monetary value is of what, el dinero is,
Yeah.
because they don't understand the concept. They can have a $20 bill or a $1 bill sometimes, and they just know it's money, right? They don't know 20 versus one or something like that.
Yeah.
First of all, bro, how old are your girls?
So 7, and then the other one just turned 5 like a week ago.
Okay.
So yeah, now, I mean, the other one's going to second grade now, and then the other one's barely going to start kinder, in a couple weeks. So I think now, try to get them engaged a little more, especially the older one, just because then the little one follows suit. It's one of those that what the big one does, the little one wants to kind of follow, right? So if we kind of plant that seed a little bit more with the other one than with the older one, then the little one follows suit a little more. So I guess kind of prepping for today's call, right? I was with my daughters in the car actually today, and I kind of brought up the combo really quick, because I took in a Baskin and Robbins just to get ice cream, right? And as they're in the car, I said, I asked them, I said, would you guys like to earn money? And they're like, they got all excited, yeah, I want money, and they're like, how do you think you earn money? And they're like, work, so they correlate work with making money, right? So that was their response, which is obviously the way it is, right? So
Of course.
and then I said, well, do you know that? Then I just said it, that's why papi and mommy, work so much to buy you the things that you guys ask for sometimes. And they're like, yes. So they're like, okay. And then I said, what do you guys think about trying to do something at home so you guys can buy your own things? And they seem very excited, so
Okay.
it's something that the wife and I had talked about before to do, but never really brought it up to the girls, right?
Okay.
And now we have, or at least now that I just kind of briefly mentioned it, they get excited, right? But if you don't execute on it, then the he's been just telling them if you're not going to do anything about it, right?
Yeah. Now here's my question for you. So and I'm glad you brought it up, because now we're getting into that real life experience and testing and test and see what works or reactions you're getting.
Yeah.
I've seen something where they've released these ways that you can kind of parent or show kids responsibilities, where you give them fake money and they buy fake things, or not fake things, but they buy things at home, at like the treasure chest at home, for doing chores, and they have a list of things. The post I saw was specifically for things that are like out of the house. So were you gonna try to implement something for just the things they want to buy, like from the store, or were you gonna try to do something where they can buy something, they can buy snacks, or they can buy cookies, or they can buy something from your like your pantry?
I feel like it's got to be something more real, something that they utilize and they want, so they can know what it takes to get that, right? Because they're like, oh, I don't want this, right? You buying something, oh, I wanted that color, and then they don't end up getting it no more.
Yeah,
Well, that's the lesson that they got to learn to say, okay, well, I really got to know what I want and what the value is of buying it versus, if they got $3 and they want a candy that's, one. Well, if they throw one away, then they're not getting another
that's
one to
it.
do more stuff. So, um, yeah, I think I would implement more with real life things that they want, right? That they utilize.
Okay,
My girls are big into like makeup right now. That's their thing.
andales.
Y chingasu, I'm like, I ain't going to Target to buy makeup. We hitting the Dollar Tree. You know what I mean? Like
Hell yeah.
they're getting that 199 stuff.
You're getting all the carcinogens.
Yeah. So they get it. So you kind of show them that little stuff, right? If they want something like that, then they got to earn it. But once again,
Yeah.
it goes into that same thing, where it's little stuff that I think that they got to do around the house, because it's not like, hey, go help me do laundry. That's not realistic. But like, hey, pick up after yourself, make sure doing that. Do your bed. Just little things, for something that they utilize on a daily, right? Just kind of keeping track of that. But we did it for a while, just kind of see how they implement stuff without the monetary thing. But once the thing, it's got to be consistent, because once you kind of stop it, then they stop it,
Simon.
and there you go.
So, Chris, let me shift over to you. So, your kids are older, and I know we talked about this earlier. Your kids don't want toys, which is fine, but they want other things, right?
Mhm.
So, my question to you, and I'm asking specifically because it's going to be a little bit not opposite, but a little bit different than what Rob is saying is, uh, did you do anything like this when they were younger? And if you didn't, are you doing anything like this now?
No, not when they were little. Unfortunately, not. Because their mom and I right away taught them how to do the basic chores, right?
Okay.
Take out the trash, take the trash out from the. It started with like the small trash, like from the restroom, right?
Yeah.
Which is a little tiny bag, or just put in and go throw it away in the water or whatever. Like he said, pick up your plate. Uh, my household, as far as my parents, but it was if you were done eating, then you pick up your own plate, right? We always
Yeah.
picked up our own plate. My mom didn't pick up her plate because she didn't want to, but we were taught if you're done, you go pick up your plate. And if it was your turn to wash it, then obviously you would wash it. But
Simon.
if not, then it's whose ever turn it was. But as far as the kids, the main thing that we taught them in the beginning was just that they had to pick up after themselves. That was huge because they also did it in school. Both of my kids started in daycare, and the daycare that they went was where their mom used to work at. So they've implemented, being responsible for your own things. So as far as when lunch came around, you were responsible to throw away your trash. You were responsible to grab your own lunch. If you were able to help a friend, a partner, then you were helping out your partner. But like I mentioned in the message, at school they kind of do the same thing, but instead of money, they get tickets or like different colored tickets, stars or whatever. So after so many tickets, stars or whatever, they can go into like a little treasure chest and
Yeah.
get something, which they still do for my daughter now. She's always happy when she brings a whatever eraser that she got from the treasure box, right? Uh once uh once things changed, as you know, um I took it upon myself. I don't know what their mom did, but I took it upon myself to start teaching them about money, meaning how is money earned, how is money spent and how fast money can be spent, right? So as they started growing, especially my son Adrian, uh, he's a basketball freak, right? So he always wants the newest basketball shoes and all that. And at first, I always had a thing to go window shop, right? Let's go see what you want. And I remember Adrian asked me one time, well, how come you just can't get them? I go, well, no, the point is for you to see what you want and start saving to get
To
it.
get it.
What do you mean? Yeah, you're going to start doing your botes. Although the recycling that you guys have at house, and I'll help you, whatever I can have at my house, yo te lo doy every week or so. And then, after a month or 2 or 3, then you start saving up your money. So that's how he started.
What age did you
Is
start, Chris?
He's been doing it for like 3 years, bro. He's 14. So around 11, more or less, 10, 11. 10,
Okay.
11. Once he started middle school, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because obviously once you go to middle school and you understand, and depending on what type of little group you're in, you start understanding and you start wanting better things, right? Uh you start wanting better shoes, you start wanting, better clothes. Uh for example, my son in 8th grade, he's like, Dad, can I get a cologne for my birthday? I was like, what the fuck? Why you want cologne already? You're only in 8th grade,
Yeah.
But I remember, I'm like, shit, wait a minute. In 8th grade, I got my first cologne. I thought I was badass and blah blah blah, smelling all fucking that sudor and cologne after PE and shit. And
They,
so I
they
knew I
got
knew
that
it. I'm like, all right,
hospital,
cool. My first one was CK1 in 8th grade, in 7th grade actually. CK1. My sister bought it for me, and I thought I was a shit, bro.
I had that
You
cool
know.
water on deck, bro.
The cool water.
Sweet.
Yep.
But I'm a couple years before you guys, so I don't know if Cool Waters was that popular then.
Or
But
some people had Curve.
I
Hmm.
had Curve, but that was after. That
Curve or
was
the
after.
Adidas one.
No, I never had Adidas. Se me quema la piel, güey. But so that's how I started with my son. And obviously now, birthdays, Christmas, his 8th grade promotion just passed. He tells everybody, I just want money. I just want money. I just want money. Gift cards, whatever like that.
Yeah.
And he knows, if you want a certain thing right now, back to school's coming. He's
Yep.
eyeing all the new shoes that are coming out. So he's already been saving since summer started. And I think he's got like $500, bro. 600 bucks. So he's got enough to buy
What
himself a nice outfit.
what do you want to buy with that? Clothes and shoes?
Basically shoes, bro. Shoes,
Hmm.
yeah. This wants to get like 2, 3 pairs of shoes, but
Was he going to
obviously I'm
Jordan?
not gonna let him spend it all on a couple pairs of shoes. I want what I want him, and I've been pushing him to do is to invest that money. I told him as soon as you get to $1,000, I'm gonna give you the option. We're gonna go to the bank. We're gonna go to see how you can invest this money. They're gonna explain to you, how it works, and I'm gonna give you the option. You can spend it, and you can have this now, or you can save it. Wait a couple years, and you're gonna see how much more you can have with that money. Right? He's already understanding that. He's
Yeah.
already talking with a few friends on trying to learn how to trade and stuff like that. So he's getting into money a lot. So
Hmm.
I want him to. I'm also gonna let him make mistakes because he has to learn as well. You know, but obviously I'm gonna guide him through all that stuff. And
Yeah.
with my daughter, bro, that's a little different. That's a little different because
What,
it's daddy I want, daddy
what
I
do you
want, daddy I want, daddy I want. Right? I want this. Let me borrow your phone. I'm gonna put what I want on your cart at Amazon. Okay. And then you decide what you want to buy me.
Huh.
That's her way. She's
Huh.
like, you don't have to buy me nothing now. And I'm gonna put it in your cart and you can make a choice of what you want to buy me. So she's not asking me, she's telling me,
How old is
right?
she?
She's 10. She's 10. She's gonna be 11 in February. But with her, it's been a little tougher trying to consistently get her to not be money hungry, but understand that if she wants something, then obviously she's gonna have to earn it, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously little girls have a way to get to us a lot easier than boys, you know.
Yep.
So I'm kind of working on that with her, and little by little we're working. I'm talking to her mom, and I'm telling her, hey, have her help you. Obviously, both of them, because they all do they wash their own clothes. Their mom makes them do that. I don't know if she she gives them anything or that's just part of their chores.
Yeah.
But I know they do their own laundry and obviously they wash dishes and stuff like that. Because
That's a good one.
my kids don't look their age, bro. So my 10-year-old doesn't look like a 10-year-old, you know. So it's kind of it's a little bit difficult as far as talking to them like little kids, you know, because one, they don't act like little kids and they don't look like little kids. So, but I'm working on it with my daughter. Same thing as with you guys, you know, talk to them first. And same thing, they get excited. Oh yeah, I want to make money. I want to make money. But when it comes down to actually do the stuff, they'll do it a week or two, and then obviously, like you said, if we're not consistent, then that's the tough part because we get caught up in our daily life, right?
Simon.
And if I was to pretend, you know, obviously, to have the family like you guys, then you know, es llega uno de trabajar and you know the wife too, and the first thing is dinner and this and that. But you know, it's kind of hard to continue to keep that same. I won't say routine, but new adding something to the table that wasn't there, you know,
Yeah.
and be excited every day
For it.
to explain to them why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm glad we're talking about this stuff because obviously these are topics that we see, things that we talk about, right? And just being fathers, being papas that want to kind of make sure that we're doing educating our kids about life and real life lessons and things that they should know to be able to survive when they get older and blah 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 blah. It's always good to talk about these things, but it's always nice to sprinkle a little bit of actual research to it. Just because, look, we like to talk, but we're not talking out of our ass, right? We're
Let
actually
me let
talking
me
about something.
let me ask you guys since you guys have a little
Well,
younger.
hold on, Chris. Hold on. Before I let you
Well, before you
go
get
on
to your
that.
research though,
All right, ask your question then.
what since you guys are bro, you're basically barely starting. Um, has your wives or partners told you stop buying them stuff or stop buying them so much stuff?
I'll answer that. No, because I don't buy them a lot of stuff. We're actually
Okay.
both on the same page where we're like we don't like we tell our family like for like the first two Christmases. Wait, no, mames, wait, mountains of toys. Well, like I still have
You
toys.
see,
I'm in the garage.
because it's
I,
excited.
yeah,
It's new.
I have mountains of toys that we haven't even opened. We never open. Not because I don't want to give them to them. It's just it's too much. It's un chingo
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It's like they're never gonna play with it, and it's gonna create more of a mess for us.
Yeah.
And it's just a mess. Have we bought it? Like every time I want to buy my daughter something, I'm like, hey babe, look, I'm thinking about buying her. What do you think? She's like, well, she probably will play for it. She probably won't. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, never mind. I won't buy it. Or you know what? She's really into this show. I think if we buy her this, she'll enjoy it. Yeah, you're right. No, this is a good one. Let's get her that one in Thug Life, right? We get her something, and she they play with it. Pero I don't think like I think one of the things that we're both on the same page is we're not trying to spoil them and just get them whatever and anything we see and every time we go to the store. If anything, she tells me not to buy her cupcakes when I take her to grocery shopping with me. Because see, like sometimes a mí
So
se me antoja un
that's
pinche
her thing.
pastelito, eh. That's
Yeah.
yeah. Se me antoja comprar unas galletitas, algo, like when I went to the store with my mom, my dad nunca me compraban, güey. So a veces, I think that's probably just me being like, now I'm older, I can do that shit. So yeah, sometimes I go, I'm gonna get a snack. You want something? She's like, yeah, and she gets a cupcake or whatever. So
Mm.
I just gotta like not do that
But
anymore, and I get
that's
it.
mainly you.
That's just
That's
me.
you. That's not her.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's not her.
That's
That's
not
just
her
me.
asking for it. Yeah. So
No,
you
she
gonna
no.
tell
Now she
yourself
asked for
to
it.
stop buying stuff.
No, now she asked for it. But besides
Well, yeah,
that,
because
like
she already learned the game.
yeah, we don't
Okay, good.
yeah, we don't really but again, not
That's
that
kind
it's
of
good or
similar.
bad, but
That's
that's just us. What about you,
yeah.
Rob?
No. It's actually fine because that's kind of what we did. We took my mom. Rest in peace. She, whether she had money or not, she always made the impossible to get all the grandkids gifts on their birthdays and Christmas, right? And it wasn't one thing. It was two or three things each one, right? So the same thing. First Christmas and the tree, the gifts were taller than the tree,
Simon.
And we same thing. We decided, you know what? Let's just tell everybody to buy them clothes or gift cards, right? Things that they're gonna use, diapers, especially at a little bit younger than yours. Um, and that's what we did. They started, my mom started buying my kids clothes. So I remember for like the first 3-4 years, we had clothes from all the parties, and now the toys were like kind of our responsibility. But we had to learn that with Adrian, because with Adrian was a little different. You got to remember, uh, my kids have a 4-year gap, so in those 4 years, it was just one kid. Y pues uno is very very different than having both of them, and con uno, especially in our situation, Adrian was the first boy in her family, in her complete family. So it was the biggest news. It was this and that. So everybody was buying them fucking crap left and right,
Yeah.
including you. You bought them all kinds of toys all the time.
But nah,
And
bro. I only for like his like a birthday party. I think I bought him a
yeah,
little
but
soccer
you you
ball.
you well you gave them good gifts. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. He had everything. He had everything and some.
Yeah.
You remember his dinosaur collection? That shit was huge. you
Sweet.
know and that's one thing that we learned. They're like, fuck, we're gonna put all these fucking toys, like you said. And we learned that with Iris. Hey, let's just tell everybody to get them clothes or gift cards, and we'll decide what toys we want to buy
Yeah.
them whenever it is that we buy them. And
What
one
about
thing
you,
that me
Rob?
and my daughter
Yeah, I was gonna
was
say.
that we would tell. She always wanted those expensive Barbies, those $1,500 Barbies, and we're like,
What was those
I mean, what
American
if I
Doll
buy
ones?
you
Green Girl?
yeah, those fucking realistic ones. What if we buy you three of these Barbies instead of just one? Okay, I want three, you know, because 2 days later, 3 days later, ya tenía el pelo cortado, o la cabeza popped out, o un arm missing, o hay todas encueradas.
Yeah.
And seeing a $1,500 fucking Barbie right there, toda desgreñada, pues como que no,
Pues sí.
so that's what we did. And then obviously it now is completely different. I can't buy Dollar Tree makeup no more. That shit just won't fly anymore. I know. Ya no se la
And
creo, bro. I gotta go fucking to Target, but not even Walmart.
¿Qué
Yo,
te
es
crees, güey? ¿Qué te
puro,
crees?
puro Sephora ahora ahí con este.
Seriously,
Fuck.
man. So good luck, guys. Good luck to you both. Especially you that you have two girls, bro. So
So what about you, Rob? Do you guys buy them a lot of stuff, or have
I'm
you
not
guys talked about it?
I'm not a big purchaser. Like I'm not one to be like, hey, go get her this just to get her or something like that.
No,
It's
no, 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 no. You yourself, cuando anda contigo solo,
no, like
without the wife.
no, we're at the
Okay.
store, we're at Target. I'm going to get something, and we're going for that. And at the
Yeah.
checkout, ahí es donde está todas las, all the little things, right? And that's where they try to get you, right? They're over here
Yeah.
trying to buy little, candy bars, whatever it is, chips or whatever. I'm like, nah, put that
Uh-huh.
back. I'm like, we got a whole box of that at the house. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't getting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, do they throw a little fit sometimes? Probably, but it's because like if you tell them yes once, se van a acostumbrar. Oh, you got it to me last time, like, and then
Yeah,
shut
they know the little
up
tricks.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And but
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not one, like to if they're by themselves, like today, like little occasion. Hey, I'll take you guys to go get a little ice cream, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But no me estén pidiendo para, for something else after, you know what I mean? Like, cause that's your treat right there for the day, you know? So I'm not, what I do buy them is things that I know that they'll need for whatever. Right. So I'm the one that I'll initiate a purchase for, like, hey, you need a new bike, right? You've outgrown yours. We got to get you one already now. Right. Like that. I'll be like, okay, we got to get you. But any little things like that, no, and then that goes back to the convo, right? With like them earning their way, because if they want something, right, then I'm not gonna buy it. Yes, we can spend $1 or two or $5, whatever it is on that, but that's not the point. It's not just about getting anything that they always want, right? So if little things that we can teach them with that, with the money and the monetary thing with stuff, because I saw that little clip, right, of the topic, right, today, Freud, from
Yeah.
Mexico. So it's like that, right? It kind of creates that excitement for them, saying that, hey, I saved up and I can
I
buy something,
bought this.
right?
Here's my money.
So and sometimes I'll do that, right? Because and then I've done this. What I've done is, if we're at a store, and you're always putting a card in, that trips them out. Like, you put in a card and we can get this, So every time, like, they're like, just pull out the card. I'm like, no, it don't work like that. Like, nah, it ain't limited over here, So so sometimes they like to put it in, and I'll, they'll cash out, pull it out or whatever, and that kind of sets that tone a little bit.
It's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that because uh, I opened a bank account for both of my kids, and obviously the only one that can have a card right now is my son. So he has his own bank card, right? But I have. He has his own with his name, but I keep it with myself because obviously I don't want him fucking going online and spending all his money at Lomenzo, right? So again, we like going to Foot Locker, we like going to shoe stores, and he'll ask me, Dad, can we go to the store real quick? Oh yeah. Are you gonna buy something? I don't know. I'm gonna see what I like and how much I have and if I can afford it. Okay. And we go, and obviously now he looks at prices, right? He looks at prices, looks at prices. And last year, for his birthday, he wanted some shoes. Y aquí ya tenemos como medio año, juntando botes and stuff like that. So he accumulated a couple $100, right? He said, Dad, I want these shoes for this basketball season that's gonna start. All right, cool. Let's go see them. Let's go see if you like them, try them on, this and that. And he was like, cool, I want them. I go, okay. And now I had forgotten that he had money, and I was gonna pay. Ya me sacado mi tarjeta. And he's like, no, Dad, use mine. So I go, you sure? He's like, yeah, I got it. And me as a dad, seeing my son, I was very proud that day because I gave him his card and he didn't put it in. And obviously he was nervous, right? Because it was his first time using it. He was nervous. I go, and put the code that we put at the bank, remember? That secret one. Oh, okay. So he puts it in, and obviously the girl gives him his receipt, walks around the counter,
Yeah.
walks around the counter and gives him the bag and everything. So he walks out. I got the big chested, and I go, that felt good, huh? He's like, I'm not gonna lie, it did. It did. It felt great. It felt great that I paid for something. I go, don't forget how much you worked for that money, right? Don't forget how much you worked for those shoes, okay? Because it's gonna be like that for the rest of your life. Now, hopefully, at one point, obviously, you don't have to look at the receipts or the price of things, but you need to understand what these numbers mean and the money that you have so that you're able to afford things, right? And how much time is it going to take to recoup that money again? Okay, dad. And unbeknownst to me, a couple months later, hey, dad, did you see my account? I go, no, I haven't. He said, look at it. I'm already back. I already earned that money back from the shoes that I bought. I'm like, cool. See, there you go. Now you got to keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. So teaching him that, seeing him that he was proud that he bought himself his own shoes. Obviously, it's with help of everybody, right? But
Yeah.
him knowing and getting that satisfaction made me feel great. Made me feel like I'm doing something good, right? Because I didn't have that opportunity at that age.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I didn't. I got what I got, and I was lucky if I was able to choose what type of shoes I wanted. One, because it wasn't just me. Obviously, my brother had to get stuff too, and we're only a year apart. So we kind of had to get the same thing. If I got black shoes, he got white shoes of the same shit. If I got white shoes, then he got black, or white with black, or white with blue, or whatever it was. So that's how that feels. Obviously, I'm trying to teach him to for more, so that he can in high school be comfortable too. And if he wants to buy, if he doesn't want to eat that free lunch that day, then he can buy whatever he wants, right?
Oh yeah.
Because he has it, you know. But knowing how long it takes to recoup that money too, that's the I think the tough part to understand sometimes that yeah, you can spend it in 5 minutes, but how long is it going to take for you to make that money back?
But I think that's where the lesson comes in, right?
Yeah.
That's part of it. That's what you're trying to get to, right? You're trying to get them to get what they say, the scarcity principle, which is essentially the supply and demand. The less there is, the more valuable it becomes, right? Um, and so yeah, I think that's perfect, right? You're taking them, and especially at his age, he's getting things that are more materialistic. It's not well, I hate materialistic. More of the things that que se puede dar un gusto, right? He worked whatever way it
It's un
was,
gusto.
and
Exactly.
and and
It's
he
it's
and
what I
he
try
got
to
to give
explain to
himself
him.
a luxury.
The wants and the needs, right?
Yeah.
Do you need it or do you want it?
Yeah.
And that's how we are. Every time we go out, Dad, I want to get this shirt that I saw. Okay. Do we need it or do you want it?
Exactly.
Well, I don't need it. I'll go. There you go.
So with that, let me segue over to this that I was going to read. So,
Okay.
like I said, we talk about a lot of these things, but it's always good to have these conversations, right? Because these are things that we're thinking, but it's also good to find that there was a study done. There was some research behind this. So, we're not just talking about it. Somebody out there in the world, some scholar out there thought, hey, you know what? We should do research on this and actually put some real life theories behind this. But there was a study done, and it was a study done. It was published on the Journal of Family Issues, back in 2022. It looks like, but essentially, it surveyed 2,000 participants between the ages of 18 and 30 in romantic relationships. So, and I'll tell you how it ties back. But it showed that it indicated that those that had been learning financial literacy from their parents when they were younger tend to flourish in romantic relationships as they got older. So if they learned about money when they were younger, their relationships were a lot better, generally speaking. Obviously, this is it's not going to be the same for everybody depending on people. But essentially what the main author said is the kind of people that are careful with their money and put effort into it are also the kind of people who are careful and put effort into their relationship. Doing daily acts of nurturing to keep a relationship healthy is similar to doing things like budgeting or keeping your financial health strong. So essentially you're teaching them, you need a if you want to be good here, then you need to do this, right? The cause and effect of your behaviors and what you want. If you want to be good over here, then you got to be good over here. In a way, it subconsciously ties into relationships because you know that if you want to achieve a certain goal, you're gonna have to put in this certain type of work, which is crazy. Um, to think and tie it out to that, like you wouldn't think, oh, maybe if my parents told me more about money when I was younger, maybe I'd be better at my relationship now that I'm older, right? Quien sabe? I don't know, but it's an interesting thought. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Like, let's say for me, for example, I'll give it a quick example, right? When we were younger, we used to live in an apartment building, right? 6 stories high, right? My dad was a property manager of that building, okay? But I was, what, I don't know, fourth grade, maybe, if that, fourth, fifth grade max, okay? Um, there was times where it's late o'clock, right? Late nights, 8, 9 p.m., whatever. And if for whatever reason, let's say one of the floors were dirty, he'd ask me, hey, go to third floor, fifth floor, whatever, sixth floor, and go vacuum that floor. So I voy yo, you're right, a little kid, freaking, 10, or I don't know, whatever freaking age I was at that time, 12, whatever case is, going to that floor with a freaking vacuum, right? And vacuuming that floor at 8, 9 p.m., So now did he say after the fact, hey, here's money for that or what you didn't know, right? Because it was part of what I knew at that moment, right? Now, was it always like that? No, sometimes he had me, write stuff in English because he didn't know how to write that much in English or whatever the case is. So he would have me write like receipts, right, for rent, things like that for some of the tenants, right? And I didn't know much as far as like the monetary thing back because I didn't tie it back into, hey, I'm doing this to get money, right? I just knew that I'm doing this and, spontaneously, whatever, down the line, back then there was a lot of, like fruit trucks, like actual fruit trucks that used to park like on the street, right?
Yeah.
And they were there all day. It wasn't like a drive-by. No, like they had a spot. So if I wanted, chips or something, then, I would ask and then maybe get it, right? Whether chips, soda, whatever the case is, right? So that I guess tying it back to like correlating with it, I didn't know it then, right? Knowing it now, obviously trying to delegate that out to the little ones, it's a little different because now you're trying to tie it back into, whatever the action is, there's a result to that action, right? Versus back then, I didn't know it that way. Back then, it was just a norm of doing something because you just had to, either that or, you got whooped.
Yeah.
One of the things. So it was like that, So I guess, tying it back to that now, it's more, times have changed. It's more of a correlation effect. They have to see the action and the result of it in order to tie it back down together, versus back then when I was growing up, it wasn't like that,
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, as you get older, you start to think about, especially us, right? You start to think about the lessons that we learned as a kid, or the things that we had to help with that maybe we didn't think about would impact us or help us out as growing up. And sometimes you take a step back and you're like, damn, that was good. I didn't, at the time maybe you didn't like it,
Yeah.
but now you have an opportunity to maybe introduce something similar, right? Because obviously you're not a property manager at an apartment building yet, quien sabe. But it gives you the opportunity to maybe do something similar. Quién
Yeah.
sabe, if that's what you want to do, right? Um, ¿qué te iba a decir? And with your oldest, right? You said she is 11, 10,
7.
7. Fuck no, Chris is la de 10. So
Yeah.
so she's 7. She's all that you said. She's all into makeup. Las
Yeah.
dos.
Yeah.
Now that you brought up the whole topic of, hey, you guys want to earn money, what are you gonna do next? Like, what's the plan? What are you gonna try? What are you gonna try so that other people that are listening can maybe try with their kids?
So they have kind of a little example of how they spend a lot of time with their cousins, right? So my nephews with my sister-in-law and stuff, right? They have 2 boys, so different, right?
Yeah.
Their boys are 11 and about to be 10, right? So, or 12 and 10, somewhere around that age. The 12-year-old, obviously they both understand money now, right? So they understand value, right?
Yeah.
At school events now, what they've done is they've set up little tents, like little pop-up shop. And what the oldest does, he makes stickers, right? So the mom used to do crafts and stuff like that,
Yeah.
stickers and all that stuff, shirts and whatnot. So he utilizes the machine to make little stickers, whatever the case is, either from sports to emojis to whatever. So he sells them, right? 50, 75 cents, and then he packages them, whatever, right? So my daughters see what they do to make money to buy whatever they want to buy, right? Now they're at their age. Well, my nephews they're at the age where they're kind of, I guess, to point out to Chris, where they want more of that materialistic thing because of the age group that they are in school, right? So they want to get stuff to fit in or whatever the case is. They're all about brands. They want Yeezy slides and all that. My daughter has Walmart slides and she calls them Yeezys. Like that's so but that just kind of puts you in perspective of like what they got to do to get that. Now to answer that question, mainly it's for my age group. I think it's mainly stuff just around the house, right? How good can you maintain to be organized? How can you keep up your room? Picking up after yourself. Making sure that you do stuff. They do things without being asked to, right? Taking initiative, right? More than anything, because if I gotta keep telling you, then you're not learning anything, right? You're being told what to do rather than you actually picking it up and say, I'm gonna do it myself, right? So I think taking that
How do we get to that part to where you don't have to tell them what to do anymore?
Well, first of all, you got to lead by example, right? And one thing that I do now, and I still do it, right? Because we have to, not the house will be a mess, right? Is you always want to show what you're picking up, right? And half the stuff that we pick up is their stuff, right?
Their stuff,
whether it's toys, whether it's clothes, whatever, you're always picking up, right? So show, and maybe, okay, and I'm thinking this on the fly. Put I don't want to say an amount, but a value of what this specific task would be worth, or something like that, right? So that way they can see what that can amount to, and maybe then put that into, hey, 3, 4, or 5 of these tasks can get me this what I want, right? Because once again, especially my little one, she's not going to understand what $1 is worth, right? They won't understand monetary yet, at least. So, putting, I guess, tasks, okay, how many times it takes for me to do this to get, a $2 thing at the store or whatever, right? So maybe try that, right? I think that's probably my first step to do that, right? Because we're just picking up.
Hypothetically thinking, if say you guys, because you guys have younger kids, if you guys have a smart ass kid, right?
I was about to say that thing.
Well, you're my dad, you're my mom, you're gonna buy me what I need, so I don't have to do it.
I don't want $1.
Well, you said it. Need is different than want, right? They have everything they need.
That's what I'm saying. How would you guys do it? Because I've already been through it. I already made my mistakes, which I've learned from. But how would you guys do it?
It's it's mainly that, right? Everything else that they have is partly want, right? What they need is they already have, right? They got a
Mm-hmm.
shelter, they got a roof over their head, they got food, right? They got water. I mean, so they have no worries. Anything else that they have is everything that they just want, or we provide them just because we want to sometimes satisfy ourselves to see the smile on their face, right? That's essentially it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I think as a kids though, especially I think in the age range that me and Rob are in, uh, I think there's a lot of repetition that's going to be involved just because it's that age grade where you're going to have to repeat things a million times just because that's what you're going to have to do. And I
Right.
think reminding them, okay, well, look, the reason we're doing this is because you want fucking Mr. Jelly or whatever the hell they want, right? You want this. If you want this, then we have to get money. If you want money, then we got to
This
do
is the
this, right?
goal,
This is
right?
the goal, right? So if you don't want help, okay, that's fine. But I'm not going to buy it. All right. I guess you're not getting it, you know? And
So,
that's
so,
and that's a way that I'm thinking.
so to that
And
point,
that's
right? If we
good
do
that,
this,
because you're giving them an option. Hey, this is what has to be done, right? Keyword has to be done in order for you to possibly get this,
Yeah.
right? And I guess we have to use those words has to possibly in order for them to understand. Oh shit! Well, fuck. If I don't help,
I'm not going to get
I'm
it.
not gonna
Yeah.
get it,
What are we
right?
going to say, Rob?
no, I mean to that point, right? Like it's if we do this, right? So I guess that's where it's if we do this one thing, we get that, right? So let's say if we do this, we do one chore, but whatever they want costs $19, right? That's kind of what I'm saying. You're correlating one task to X amount of whatever something can be worth, right? So I guess that's what I'm saying. Like correlate something that gives X amount of times a certain value that they know that
Right.
I have to do this much to get that, right? Because if you
Yeah,
just do
there's got
one
to be,
task,
like I said, a value to whatever chore that they're gonna do. So if you, for example, you pick up the trash, then that's 2 points, right? It's gonna. You need 15 points in order to get to that whatever it is that you want. You know. So
yeah,
obviously you have to do it more than one time or once a week or whatever it is.
it's,
But
it's just
let
it's
me
just
let
like
me
us as
be
adults in sales, right? We do the same
right.
thing in sales, right? We have a calculator and we know how many sales we got to do a month in order to get this
Yeah, yeah,
amount of,
yeah. And
right?
we calculate the per hour, the sales that we do, and all that in order to for us to guarantee us a whatever dollar amount at the end of the 2 weeks or whatever, right? So let me be like Freud's. Let me take Freud's word of habit. Let me be devil's advocate here, right? So no, Freud doesn't sip no more. She just sips water. But uh, what if the child say time passes by, right? And the child is like, well, if I don't do anything, I don't get paid. And if I do stuff, I have to get paid, right? So
Like
how
they
do
do that.
we
Well, I'm not. I might like they only do things if now only start doing things if they get paid.
exactly, exactly?
Uh, I was reading something on how there's
Because kids are
like
smart,
a
bro.
list
They'll
of things.
they'll
Yeah,
they'll
they're
they'll,
super
they'll
smart.
get things between the lines, bro. And
There's
shit.
there's a list of things that you can do that are things that need to be done. Like I said, there's things that need to be done, right?
Yeah,
And on this conversation, there's a reward. This time, no, it needs to get done. There's nothing to it. If you want something, I'll give you something that's going to have a reward. But this is
give me a
not
minute,
one of
right?
those things, right? So I think identifying the differences, right, between oh, all right, if you want to do something that needs a reward, cool. These are the different things that we can do, and they'll give you a reward.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, something that we didn't talk about, right?
Do you think
If
it's better for like let's say allowance based right? And seeing how that behavior for the week, is better to give it that way, or is it per, task or something like that, right? Because imagine they do one task, to Chris's point, they do one task one day, the next day they don't want to do it, right? And the next day they do. So they're obviously going to correlate. Well, if I don't do it, I don't get paid. If I do it, I get paid. But let's say if you correlate it for a whole week, right? And then you make it, allowance based, whatever, kids don't need much. I'm not giving $20-$30 for a kid, because what do you need that's $20-$30 worth, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, let's see how you do throughout the week, kind of thing. And hey, maybe you get $5 in a week or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, you think that's a better approach, or more task based on
honestly, I think it depends on your kid, because like I think one of those things is not all our kids are the same, and unos son más listos, right?
Yeah.
Unos son más listos, y no que los otros son tontos, pero unos son más listos que los otros nada más. And
like my daughter
with
don't care about money for shit.
Yeah, they just they're at a different place, and maybe what maybe what your oldest is gonna want, your youngest doesn't care for.
Yeah.
Right. And you see it all the time with the toys, right? Sometimes it's like they have a toy. Oh, I don't want it. That's fine. They can play with it.
Yeah.
Or a veces, fucking toy she's never played with. The other kid grabs it. That's mine. You're not even touching it. Like it just depends. It depends on your kids. It depends on, it depends. It depends. There's a lot to say. There's so many different ways to go about it. It's just, I think the best way that goes, whatever works best for you guys, right? And I think the goal and the main idea behind it is, at the end of the day, we are trying to show them some sort of, I guess, financial literacy, but at the same time, we're showing them work ethic. We're showing them how to be responsible. We're showing them how to take a list of things, and how to essentially be their own boss, their own manager of things, right? To give them some power in a way, right? Give them some power and let them navigate. If they want to get to endpoint, then they need to do what they need to do.
I think that power is probably the better word, because more financial literacy, I think, is more now to Chris's age group, right?
Simon.
Now, he's got a bank account, and now he's putting it there to see it grow, etc. Right? So that probably might be more catered to him. Maybe more power, obviously, for the little ones, because they want to feel that, right? They want to know that they can do things with their own, earnings or whatever it is.
Have you ever used that word with your kids? Who has the power? You have the power, or I have the power?
You know what? I take it. I gotta give the wife a little more credit on that, right? Obviously, she comes more from the the teacher background of it, right? So she utilizes that more, because obviously she teaches that with her students, right?
Simon.
So I learn a lot from her on a daily, seeing what she does, because half the shit that she does now, I had no idea what the hell it was, yesterday or the day before, right?
Yeah.
So I learn as I go sometimes, right? So I see it that way, and she utilizes that a little more, right? And it's all that part of that, like social emotional learning that they call in school, right? And seeing how they can grow, because they have to have more control of their actions at that age, where they're a little more curious, per se, right? So they kind of try to take action on that, and have that power, that I guess, that self-control, per se. So
yeah,
I know that she teaches that a lot more than what I've seen before, or what I even was accustomed to growing up with, because we didn't get taught any of that. So
yeah. No, yeah, and that makes sense, and I think you do have an advantage there with having having your wife have that experience as a teacher, and it makes things in a way fresh, because you learn and then you have to implement, right?
Yeah.
And then at the same time as you're learning, then obviously the kids are learning. But taking ideas that maybe you didn't think of, having somebody bring them in. No, that's awesome. So we talked about the financial literacy portion of it for the older kids, right? I mean, in a way, the kids are learning about it too, right? because again, like I was saying earlier, they're learning about the value of money, whether it's fake money, monopoly money that you're giving them so they can buy something,
Yeah.
whether it's tickets, they're learning that you need something to buy something. You need money if you want to buy whatever.
But
Yeah. So you learn those things, right?
Yeah.
Um so I think in a way, even if you don't think about, oh, you're teaching them financial literacy at 5 6, the concept of buying, purchasing, and earning is the idea that they're learning. And when they get older, it'll be an easier concept for them to grasp,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
No, I got you. Yeah, it's
not only
obviously
that too, bro. Sorry, my computer froze. Firefox decided to update, so um,
Firefox. I haven't used that in a minute.
They still use this.
Jeez.
um, I think schools should start again doing that, teaching kids the value of money, of the dollar, because they don't do that anymore, bro.
It's.
You
I'll go back to what I know from my wife on the teaching side. It doesn't have much of the curriculum of
Mhm.
what they look at. It's that's where we have to kind of step in and take kind of portion of that, right? Because
Those are good shit.
I think it froze up there, but yeah, that's they're not teaching it like that. They're teaching it is kind of in a math aspect of it. If somebody has $5, you take three, or they buy something for three, how much you got left? It's kind of
Yeah,
the stuff that
they use it for math.
yeah, that's how they're going to correlate it, right? And one of the things like where actually me and my oldest at that's 7 now, when she started school, she started more of a Montessori concept of school. And in that Montessori concept, they have it based on more shape form with equivalent to number portion of it, right? So versus just 7 and 3, and equals 4, it's more accustomed to of saying, 7 and 3 equals 4, right? 7 minus 3 equals 4 versus having the actual dimensions of 7 and 3 and stuff. So Montessori aspect a little bit, I think, kind of helped out her a little bit more because she sees it that way. And I think with money, we can probably utilize that kind of the same concept to what the Montessori school format does to correlate that with the money aspect of it.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. And that takes it from just numbers and math to it's not just numbers and math. It can be applied to your
It's
toys. It can be
physical
applied
stuff,
to food. It
objects,
can be
whatever.
applied to
Yeah.
money. It can be applied to whatever. So it does take it away from just numbers to, oh, you can actually apply this to things I'm doing every day, to where they'll start identifying, oh, I have 3 balls. Oh, look, if I get that one, I'll have 4 balls. Well,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. So no, yeah, I think that's the big difference. Especially when you go to Montessori schools, I feel like sometimes they spend a little bit extra time on that. Um,
Yeah.
any other final thoughts, boys? We are getting to the end of this. Try not to run them too long so that our, 5 million viewers aren't too.
That's why Chris.
too.
That's why Chris's thing was freezing up. All the viewers. That's what it was.
Our 500,000 subscribers that we just got.
Yeah.
Never had
Froze
this
the system
problem
a little
before,
bit.
bro.
Nah,
It's
I mean, for the most part, like, I want to thank you, Freud, for having me on. I know I watched your stuff, from the get go. So obviously, I want to appreciate it. Any way that I can, help support you guys for what you guys are doing. I know I obviously shared it on the socials and stuff like that. Told a couple people. I don't know. You probably might have gotten a couple of new followers, on the IG thing with whatever. So, man, just grateful. Obviously, it's good to always hear a good perspective, right? With Freud's kind of similar age group. Now with you, Chris, you got older kids. You kind of take little, bits and pieces of what you've gone through, and you kind of either apply your way, you tweak it a little bit to suit fit how it goes with you. So
Right.
that's kind of
And
how we.
that's the point. That's the point that there's no one right way. Obviously, we all grew up similar but different, right? Uh, Different age groups, but also similar backgrounds to where we try to implement some of that stuff that was taught to us, but like you said, with that modification of the times now, and how difficult or how easy it can be to get to that level or even better, right? The
Yeah.
whole point of this is to spread out the word as far as
as far as we can.
that the Mexican or Hispanic culture of men, that we are fathers, like our slogan says. We're not just fathers that lay down the law, but we're or that always work. We are fathers that we're trying to educate and make sure that our children are superior to us,
Yeah.
right? So that when it's their time, then they have a chance to get what we taught them, modify it, and continue and make it better, right? Which is the whole point, the whole purpose of this is for it to expand, so that maybe one day when our kids are older, say, "Oh, my dad was a part of this movement, and they were the ones that started, or he came out once, and he look at him how young he looked, and blah blah blah, and this and that." And yeah, man, I've always thanked everybody. Most of you guys are Freud's friends. Some of the people that I know are through work when we used to work together, but now I'm starting to, put faces with voices, or thumbtacks or whatever it is. And like, trust me, every time I go to Freud's house, like, "Hey, Chris," and I turn around, I'm like, "Hey, who's this?" "Oh, I always listen to you guys online."
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago, I saw the other guy. What's his name? Freud?
No, Anthony.
Anthony. Y at first no lo reconocía, and I saw him in the street. He's like, "Chris." I'm like, "The fuck? Who knows me?"
Yeah.
And it's cool because sometimes I'm with my kids, and my kids are like, "Do you know him?" I don't think so. Well, he seems to know you. He's like, "Dad,
Well,
you're famous now. You're famous now."
well, when you're a YouTube influencer like yourself, bro, you're gonna
Yeah,
forever.
right.
Yeah.
So, and what I'm trying to say is that thanks to you guys, right? Thanks to you guys that listen to us, watch us, follow us on all our shenanigans that we do, and sometimes we post very exciting things. Sometimes they're a little sad. Sometimes they're educational, but the whole point is to get some sort of word out there that us Latino parents are not alone. If you guys ever want to come on here and talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk, show your piece of information, give your piece of knowledge, like Roberto, you guys are everybody's more than welcome. We can do more than 3 screens, so that's not a problem. You know.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
We definitely can. And I know we've been talking about it for the longest, but we need to do you need to do a meetup. Um, I think the summer has kind of come and almost went
And gone
because kids go back to school, right? Like it's insane.
in a
But
couple weeks.
we have to figure something out. I know that there were some ideas floating out with some of the guys on my end, but we have to do something to pull the papas out, at least for a night or an afternoon or a morning or something, and give you guys a break from doing what you're doing with your families to allow us to kind of do everything else. But anyway, I think we've hit the top of the hour here. We're good to go. I appreciate you guys both for jumping on. Really good conversations. Rob, thanks for always being involved. Chris, thank you for providing your insight and your intellectual experience, especially since you've gone through some of these things before us already. So it's always nice to kind of hear that different perspective. Um, So it's awesome to have these thoughts. For everybody out there, appreciate it for jumping on.
Appreciate you guys, and thank you for having the champ over here on the site. So.
The
Hey, boy,
Mandilones
thank you
champ.
for rocking the shirt, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta get more merch, man. I'm telling you, I'll be rocking this. I rock
It's coming. It's coming.
Stay
Trust me, it's
tuned.
coming.
Stay
It's
tuned. We're
coming.
working on it. We're working on it. But
Yeah.
but that's it, guys. We appreciate it. You guys have a great night. Y como siempre, que duerman con mucho
Órale.
Órale,
Se vuelto el mercado. All right, guys. Good night. Thank you.
Peace out,
Thanks
guys.
for watching.